Yaga yo, yaga yo, yaga yo, we are outside again. Yes, family, what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be doing some tips and tricks of how to deal with your CBT Element E or your Mod 2 ride assessment. If you're new to the channel, guys, don't forget like, share, comment, subscribe, and also become a member. Because we got the memberships going now, baby. Look at the perks. The perks are awesome, man.
From biker, yeah, na 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 na. Ooh. This is a from biker, from rider. Give your bike a rev, then put down your visor. Yeah.
We're outside again. Okay, so first things first, make sure, guys, that you are planning ahead. So we can see that there's a van parked right up there. The road's closed somewhere, so we're going to check out and move out to our right. So if anybody that wants to know what check out and check in is, check out is your mirror and lifesaver to the right, check in is your mirror and lifesaver to the left. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now right there, right ahead, I can see that there's a road closure, so I'm going to check out, and I'm actually going to go right up here because I don't know what's going on here. And then before we turn in, we check, and we can see that there's parked cars there. So we go straight over here. There's nothing coming down, so we're keeping away from the car doors, keeping our speed down nice and gentle. We make sure we've turned that signal off. So we take it nice and gentle because we don't know what's happening. Once we pass this car here, we are going to check in. Okay. So when we look down there, we can see that there's a white van parked. So nice and early, it's a good idea. We'll wait till we go past this junction here, just in case something goes flying out. Once we get to it, we pass it, we check out, and we move out. And we're going to go left, so we're going to go mirrors, signal, lifesaver, check in, and we're going to get the bike positioned that way. We're going to be looking up the road to see what's happening, and we go straight out because we've got these parked cars on the left. Obviously, what we don't want to do is be driving into cars. Keep away from the car doors. So we always want to be at least a door's width away from the cars. Car's coming down, what's he doing? Is he letting me go? Okay, excellent. So we're going to stay out unless that car starts coming in. So that car's coming in, so we're going to check in to get ourselves out of the way a bit. And then when that's passed, we're going to check out nice and early, no surprises. We can see that there's a lorry parked there, so something could swing out in front of us. Okay, so we're going to check in and we're going to be nice and tight. We're going to turn right, so we're going to observations, signal, check out over the shoulder, get right up to the line. Now we can see that there's cars blocking the vision, but we're all good because we've checked. Now this car's indicating this way. What's happened there? Somebody hit someone. Okay, so the only way we can turn up there is left because we're looking on the floor. We can see that it's left to turn. So what you need to do as well, guys, is you need to be looking out for the signs of what's happening. So you need to pay close attention to the signs. So before we put them brakes on, we're going to check our mirrors, see what's going on behind us. Gently squeeze that brake. Get yourself get yourself into the right gear, and we get ourselves in the right position. When we're pulling behind cars, we want to make sure that we're at least a bike's length. That's what I'd say. So we can see that down there is a bus with the hazard lights on, so we're going to need to move over, and then we're going to check over that shoulder. Is he going to let us come through? So he knows the intention. We've got that right shoulder going. He knows the intention. Thank you very much. Turn that signal off. And then we stop. Okay. So before we move away, we check over both shoulders, get the bike moving, turn the power off, squeeze that front brake. So it's instances like this, guys, where you need to make sure that you and the slow control, if you don't know what slow control is, check out my video on slow control, slow riding. So it's basically where a little bit of throttle, slip the clutch and dragging the rear brake. That's going to be the best way you're going to control the bike at a slow walking pace. So always pay attention when you see situations like this. Always pay attention to what's going on here, because you will start to see, or you may see, cars trying to slip up on the inside. I don't know what's happening here with the traffic. Don't make me cut this blasted video, get all up in front and go. So we see the cars moving, we check both shoulders before we go. Nice all-round check. Use that slow control, nice and gentle, keep the revs going, drag that rear brake. Then turn the power off, clutch in, and stop. See, when you're taking your test, guys, anything can happen. You could be in busy situations like this where there's a whole heap of traffic, you just never know. Do you know what I mean? And even situations like this can throw people off. Because usually what we should be doing is being in the left-hand lane, but obviously that bus was there. Now, ideally we'd want to get back over there. So the question is, why am I not back over there? Number one, I can't see what's happening in that lane up there. Do you know what I mean? So there could be buses parked there, there could be an obstruction, which is why there could be a lot of traffic going on. So we don't know. So if you're not sure, just stay where you are. So remember, guys, when we do stop, you have the front brake on, back brake on. Don't let that bike roll. If that bike starts to roll back, you're going to be in trouble. Now he's coming out, using that slow control. Now look at him, he's not even looking. Go on. Gotta look out for these guys as well, because they ain't looking out for you for the most part. So we're going to turn right, so we're going to check, get that signal on. So everyone knows where we're going. See, that's what they do, they just pull out and put their hands up. So before we turn in, just in case anybody's trying to get on the inside of us, we check that right shoulder. And we get right up to the line. I thought he was letting me go. Okay, so if it's a 30-mile-an-hour road, let's get to 30 as soon as we can, if it's safe to do so. So we've got the height restriction there. Now, this bridge here has been licked down so many times. It's unbelievable. I thought that was my son. So we're planning way ahead. Is there any parked vehicles in our way, any obstructions? And there is, so we check over that shoulder before we move out a little bit. And at the traffic lights ahead, we're going to turn left. So it's OSM PSO. So just think OSM, observation signal maneuver. So check the mirrors, get the signal on, lifesaver check, and we change our position. Gently use that slow control. Keeping vigilant, looking out for pedestrians. Turn the signal off, and away we go. I can't make it any easier for you. So if you look ahead, we can see the bin man. So the bin man's taking up half of my road. So I'm going to check over that shoulder. So I position myself right here. We got that learner as well. So we've got to manage to get around him. I don't know if he's going to stay there. Check before we go. And then check before we go over that line. and then we check before we come back in. Big man could be walking out in front of the truck. So there's parked cars all the way up here. So we're going to stay in this position where we are. Question for you guys. What distance should we have between us and the car in front? I'll tell you now. If it's in the dry, we want minimum 2 seconds. If it's in the wet, what we tend to do is we double it. Okay, why do we do that? If you're 2 seconds in the dry, that gives you plenty of time to stop or get yourself slowed down if the car in front puts the brakes on. Same thing if it's in a wet. If it's 4 seconds, you've got enough time to get that bike stopped if that person decides they're going to throw them brakes on. I hope that makes sense. How many times should we look in our mirrors when we're riding? There's no amount that's too little and too much, to be fair. Well, what I tend to do is as I'm riding, I make sure that I'm clocking what's happening behind me as well as in front of me. Do you know what I'm saying? Right, so we're going to turn left, and that's all we can do. Again, when we're stopping, in that safety position, front brake on, rear brake on, left foot down on the floor. Lights on orange. Check, check. Get the bike moving. And we're looking at the road marking, so we need to move over. He's slowing down now, so we're checking. Park car on the left. Check, check. That's it. And then we check in. And then we dominate the lane. So if you hear your instructor say dominate your lane, what it means is get yourself nice and square. Check out. Now, once you've passed your test, you've gone through all your paces. Like myself, sometimes I like to ride slightly to the right. So what that enables me to do is it enables me to see further down the road. The only issue with that is if you have big vehicles and stuff that's coming up on this side, or there's parked cars on the other side of the road, you might need to tuck yourself back over into the centre of your lane. So just bear that in mind. But for me, it's all about being able to see what's happening way ahead. So we're checking the mirrors before we put them brakes on. Get ourselves down into the correct gear. Making sure this guy's got enough room to do what he's doing. Oh, sorry, this lady, my bad. And the roundabouts, you always give way to the right, so we're looking to the right, making sure that there's nothing coming. We're checking over that shoulder because we've got parked cars on the left hand side. And when it comes to them mini roundabouts there, if you're going straight over, you do not, look at that pin in the middle of the road, you do not need to signal to come off it. But you shouldn't get marked down if you do signal for it. Parked car in front, so we're checking out. The roads are rough in Brum. Okay, look at that parked car. That's facing towards us. So, and we're gonna stay here-ish because we got that parked van. So when we go to the end of this road, there's a roundabout that we are going to turn right. So it's a little bit of a weird one. There's a few lanes on this roundabout. So generally speaking, guys, when you see the speed humps in the road, you're normally looking at a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. And don't forget, guys, as part of the membership, if you have the top tier membership, we can arrange that I come out and actually give you a riding assessment. If you're local, that is, or depending on where you are. We'll arrange it. How many times will you be able to do it? I'm not too sure. But we can get that done. So I'm guessing at some point there should be a queue for doing that. And it doesn't matter whether you've got your license or not. But we're going to turn right, so we've checked in, we've got that signal on. So we're in the right lane to turn right. And we have the police. So we're waiting for a safe gap. What's that guy doing? What is he doing? So the idea is we're in the lane to turn right, so we're in the right side. So if we're turning right, we've got to try and get ourselves over. So we've got to be very, very vigilant. Make sure we're getting them observations on point. So we're going to stay right here. And then we're going to check, get that left signal on. We're going to check over that shoulder before we get into it. Turn that signal off. And away we go. So we're going to go straight, so we need to change lane. So it's OSM, check out, signal off. Turn the power off, gently squeeze them brakes, get yourself stopped into the correct gear. Okay, family, so listen, guys, trust me, to get your Mod 2 done or your Element E, CBT, but especially the Mod 2, because for you to do the Mod 2, you must have already completed the CBT. It's very straightforward. Planning ahead is your friend. Staying vigilant, staying safe. The examiner wants to know that you know what you're doing. You're comfortable, you're confident, and competent. The 3 C's: comfortable, confident, competent. But you don't want overconfidence. Do you get what I'm saying? And you should get a full license to ride as long as you don't do anything dangerous. Remember, you are allowed some minor mistakes. What you're not allowed is major ones. Do you get me? So anyway, family, that's the end of this video today. I will do a lot more. Don't forget, like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you got on with your Mod 2 test, how you're feeling about doing it if you haven't done it yet. We out.
Rum biker, yeah, na 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 na. Ooh. This is a rum biker, rum rider. Give your bike a rev, then put down your visor. Yeah.
We're outside again.